horrible case of animal cruelty out of New York. 5 kittens are recovering after being put in a frying pan filled with hot cooking oil. The incident happened in an apartment in Buffalo. Authorities say an acquaintance of the man who lived in the apartment put 5 kittens into the hot grease. The animals suffered some burns but are expected to be okay. The man was arrested and is facing animal cruelty charges. More than 100,000 chickens were killed in a massive fire at a chicken house in North Carolina. Fire officials say there were no fire hydrants around the building and water had to be trucked in. There was a fire at the same place 5 years ago.
People in New Mexico are dealing with major flooding. It forced many people to evacuate the southern New Mexico town of Hatch yesterday. Police closed all the highways in this area, and schools have been closed, and they will be closed till tomorrow.
All right, let's get a look at the forecast.
Nice weather. And the infrared tonight here is meteorologist Mark Shanaberger.
Yeah, it was a gorgeous day out there today. Temperatures still very, very nice out there this evening. 82 degrees at the Lehigh Valley Airport, the dew point at 56, so not too oppressive out there. The humidity levels at 40%, and the winds are calm right now. Take a look at some of these temperatures out there, either mid-80s or below. We have an 85 in Redding, 82 in the Lehigh Valley, 80 in Stroudsburg. So those temperatures very comfortable out there this evening. It looks like another very comfortable night on tap. The dew points, not too bad out there. We talked about that 56 in the Lehigh Valley, but there's also a 56 in Stroudsburg. And in Redding, you can see a couple 55s in Scranton and Pottsville. So very comfortable conditions out there for today. Plenty of sunshine. You can see much of the East Coast is dealing with clear skies. So it looks like as we move through the rest of the work week, we deal with clear skies for our Thursday and our Friday, maybe even much of the day on Saturday. You can see dry air. There is some shower activity just to our south, just to our west, and just to our north. But for us, it looks like another dry day for our Thursday. So nothing but nice for Thursday. High pressure system still in place, and it looks like it'll stick around for our Friday as well. As we take a look at our surface map, there's that high pressure system continuing to give us a nice weather as we make our way into the second half of the work week. And it looks like the first part of the weekend not looking too bad on Saturday, although the clouds will increase. We will see those dew points rise a little bit. Actually, we'll see them rise a little bit tomorrow, and it looks like for Friday as well. Then maybe a shower or thunderstorm later in the day on Saturday, but a better chance of that happening on Sunday. So high pressure in place for today. It's going to be in place for tomorrow, and it looks like Friday too. So a couple nice days ahead of us, and even Saturday not looking too bad. The next 24 hours shape up like this. For tonight, mainly clear. An overnight low of around 58 degrees. Some patchy fog later on. Looks like for tomorrow, patchy fog early. Then mostly sunny, nice and warm. High temperature of 86 degrees. Overnight low of 60. And there's a look at your extended forecast. Maybe some fog. That's really the only complaint over the next couple of days is the fog forming through the overnight hours, but that'll be patchy for the most part. Otherwise, just beautiful conditions the next couple of days, and it looks like Saturday, like I said, not looking too bad, but maybe a shower or thunderstorm later in the day. Better chance of that happening on Sunday.
You know, fog is the only complaint we hear about the next few days. We'll be fortunate.
Yeah, we're all right, I think. Yeah,
thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark. Well, part of Lehigh County Government Center is now more family-friendly. A mural done by students from the Baum Art School unveiled its mural inside Lehigh County Children and Youth Facilities office today. The students worked on the bright garden scene for several weeks.
We use these rooms at the Government Center for children and families to visit, for children who are in foster care. So when they come in to visit their parents, usually they're in these rooms, and sometimes they're not very nice. And this one is absolutely beautiful.
County Executive Don Cunningham gave the students an official proclamation today recognizing their work. Well, some new businesses are making their way to Upper Macungie Township in Lehigh County. The Trexlertown Marketplace will include Walgreens, Embassy Bank, Chick-fil-A, and Panera Bread and more. Construction has already started. No word on when it will be completed.
Experts say teen drivers are finding a new and dangerous way to get around the law. It's enough to make any parent shudder. Part 2 of our special Connect with Kids series is coming up after the break.
Some very special kids are literally having a ball. I mean, Tanner, I'll tell you why coming up.
And the Rovers are hoping for a return to the top of the LVC this fall. Troy will have a preview next in sports.
Well, do you remember when you first started to drive? It was probably fun for you, but no picnic for your parents. Nancy Werteen continues her series now in Connect with Kids, taking a look at a frightening new trend among some new teenage drivers.
For kids, that new license is usually a coveted taste of freedom, but most kids just aren't aware of the risks. Now, evidence of a trend that probably seems harmless to kids, but it can have deadly results. Law enforcement officials say some kids are trying to get around a rule that says new drivers shouldn't have too many other kids in the car. Seems some kids figure it's okay to ride in the trunk out of sight.
Once you get your license, you can only have family members in the car.
You can't drive past midnight until you turn 18.
Driving regulations have gotten pretty strict for many teens across the country, with good reason.
We're trying to keep our teenagers safe, and it's very proven that by restricting other teenage passengers, it reduces the risk to them.
But many teens, inconvenienced by the new rules, have found a way to get around them. It's called trunking.
I've ridden in the trunk a few times. I had too many people in the car, and I was the smallest one, so it all came down to me.
Many kids fail to realize that it's not just illegal, it's incredibly dangerous. Best friends Chris Snyder and Scott Atchinson were riding in the trunk of a car when they hit a tree.
The trunk lid popped open in the crash, ejected them onto the highway, and they were run over.
Sadly, both teens died. Experts say parents need to make the driving laws explicit.
It's the parents' responsibility for getting their teenager through the teenage years safely. Certainly the trunking issue comes into play, cell phone use, alcohol, drug use, seatbelt use. All those are parent responsibilities to make sure their teen is complying.
Make sure you know what you're doing before you start having other people in the car, and just follow the laws.
Studies show states with the greatest restrictions have the fewest teen fatalities. For more information, go to our website. That's WFMZ.com, and then click on the Connect with Kids icon. We'll wrap up our series Friday night at 10 o'clock. Nancy Werteen, 69 News.
Federal officials are putting together an $11 million ad campaign to hopefully get the message across that drinking and driving kills. The ads will be targeted at men between the ages of 21 and 34. The campaign comes as the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration released its accident report for last year. It says there was an increase in the number of drinking involving deaths where the driver was nearly twice the legal limit. All right, sports time.
Here's Troy, the latest in high school football.
That's right. We start at Easton tonight. Easton's football team struggled a little more than usual last season. They were out in round one of the district playoffs, and they lost the Thanksgiving Day showdown with Peaburg. So this year begins with the Rovers determined to win a title. The Rovers do return a lot of talent, specifically junior Jaron Holly, who's the guy everybody else will key on again this year. But the defense is where they expect to win games.
But I think the big thing is we've got the nucleus of our defensive back, and we're a defensive football team. We play defensive football and then try to take advantage of field position. So we're pretty confident we got enough kids back that we can be a competitor this year.
Now, last fall, the state field hockey championship game turned out to be an all-LVC affair because Allen earned a trip to the title round. They lost that game to Emmaus, but it marks a tremendous change in the Canaries program, a change that they are trying to continue this fall.
I think a lot of people have really stepped up this year. That last year we had a lot of really good players as an individual, but this year I think we're great as a team.
I think my team is more balanced this year than it's ever been, but I don't think I have the impact players with the exception of like Shelby Schraden. We're going to be more of a team type oriented focus here.
Now, as for the team that beat them in the state title game last year, we'll talk about Emmaus at 6 o'clock. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Troy. For some very special kids, being part of a team is just what the doctor ordered. The Pediatric Cancer Foundation of the Lehigh Valley held its third annual Kick for Cancer today for children with cancer and their families. WFMZ's Eve Tannery tells us why kids say, in their opinion, the event scored.
2, 3, 1!
This group of aspiring soccer stars had these balls moving all day long as they took to the Bob Warkey Field in Hokendakwa.
We're kicking the ball back and forth now, and I'm sure we're going to do some other fun stuff later.
What you can tell from looking at these adorable young athletes is that many of them have been diagnosed with cancer. Nicole Ronco's son Luke is one of them, and the reason she started the nonprofit Pediatric Cancer Foundation, which puts on the Kick for Cancer event.
About 4 years ago, my son was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and we live in Lehigh Valley, and there wasn't a lot of support in Lehigh Valley, so I kind of thought it'd be a really good thing to kind of bring families together so we could share information, so we could share support.
You be a shark too.
For many of these kids, the best part of this whole event is to just be out here and have some fun.
A lot of times they're so busy in their treatments, they don't have time to be in organized sports or other kind of activities, so here they can be a team and they can have fun and meet other kids.
And not only can kids have fun, so can moms and dads at this special tent just for parents.
And to have an opportunity to just be able to sit and talk to other adults and be pampered a little bit is just wonderful. It's not something that happens very often.
What's the best part about this for you?
I get to see my friends.
All in all, it's a lot of volunteers, a lot of kids, and a lot of love that make Kids for Cancer a time out from cancer and a time for smiles to last a lifetime. Yay! Eve Tannery, 69 News.
Well, Hollywood is mourning the loss of one of its stars, and that tops tonight's 69 News Star Watch. Character actor Bruno Kirby has died. He was probably best known for his roles opposite Billy Crystal in City Slickers and When Harry Met Sally. His wife says he died from complications from leukemia. Kirby was 57 years old. Jeff Foxworthy is hoping his new sketch comedy show will deliver. Just in case it doesn't, he has a backup plan. The first expectant mother to deliver during the program's premiere will win $50,000. Foxworthy's Big Night Out premieres September 1st on Country Music Television. To be eligible, expectant mothers must register first at foxworthy.cmt.com.
All right. The weather has been great lately for a little day trip.
Indeed, and just ahead on the Berks edition, WFMZ's Karen Millette gets all revved up for another one-tank trip.
Police in Pottstown say they're making a dent in the drug problem here thanks to a phone number. I'm Joel D. Smith. That story's coming up next on the Berks edition.
Plus, there was an uninvited guest at an Ohio hotel. Things got a little wild. Those stories and more on the Berks edition in just a bit.